he missed out a few of the juicy parts.
Thank you.
So next up is Willie. Where you at, Willie? He's trying to hide.
Look for the hat.
And I asked Jeremiah Johnson, who referees in Iowa, is also the president of the Midwest Rugby Union, to come up and say some bad things about Willie.
So Steve asked me, I was coming up with some stories of my own to tell about Willie, but luckily he took the time to write some down, and I think it's important to go through this because there will be some names that I think will bring a light to some of the eyes in the crowd. Willie Craig began playing rugby during the summer of 1973 with the UNI Rugby Football Club. He'd never been to a practice but arrived at the pitch alive and warm. He got to play at number 8, wishing he had a video, not a clue. The spring of 1974 brought his first All-Iowa, held on the domain of Iowa State. Iowa State defeated Des Moines in the final. Des Moines at that time was still in the Heart of America Union. The fall season brought injury. Hip pointer and shoulder trouble came via River City Rugby Football Club. 1975 was a healing year. He considered refereeing and attended a referee's clinic in Iowa City. Dan Deemer and Mike Grotheson put together this clinic with A-panel referee evaluator Ed Green as a presenter. Willie found out after taking the exam that he should invest in a law book. The 1977 Iowa Rugby Referee Society submitted its bylaws to the Iowa RFU. Really? What's that?
Rugby football union.
Yeah. No, I know. Set the structure. I got lost.
Oh, okay.
But Iowa Referee Society submitted its bylaws to the Iowa RFU to be recognized. There it is. Dan Deemer was the chairman. Willie joined the society and readily passed his exam to be certified C3. Certified. During this time, he was still playing B-side for the UNI Rugby Football Club. He began refereeing matches that fall. And during 1978, he joined the newly formed Blackhawk Rugby Football Club. Refereeing had gained his interest, but he continued playing B-side for Blackhawk. 1978 marked the first All-Iowa where he refereed and played as well. The University of Okoboji Rugby Tournament began in 1978. Along with Reggie Tate and Zeke Moravik, Willie helped organize one of the few 15s Rugby Fest during the summer. They also had a lot of help locally from Herman Richter and the Milford Mafia. Following Reggie's death in 1985, Willie and Zeke continued the tourney as a memorial to Reggie. The tournament was quite popular for a good run of 28 years.
Yeah.
1979, he concentrated a little more on playing than refereeing to get ready for Blackhawks' famous tour of New Zealand during July and August. It was a 3-week tour. While he was there, he played in one game, but refereed a schoolboys match and a women's match, and got local society evaluations for both. In 1979, Willie became secretary-treasurer of the Iowa Rugby Referees Society with Dan Deemer chairman. Must have been around for a while, Dan. In 1980, he reached the grade of C2. Steve McAreevy?
Dubuque boy.
That's right. Was the IRS chairman. The Iowa State flower, the prairie rose, that everybody likes to make fun of, was adopted to adorn the newly designed referee patch. During the 1981 spring season, he began to attend the rugby festival surrounding the interterritorial tournament held in Oak Brook, Illinois. Here he received evaluations by national evaluators Ed Green and Norm Lambert. By now, Willie had become a respected referee and was contacted often to officiate. In 1982, he reached the grade of C1. Mike Bowman, Wizard, was society chair. Society had a good membership, and this was the first year of assigning referees to matches. This was also the first year Willie was in charge of obtaining and assigning matches to referee at the All-Iowa. In 1984, he took over the chairmanship of the Referee Society. He attended 2 Midwest Rugby Referee Society clinics per year and held 2 local union clinics per year. In 1985, he was evaluated at the Midwest Junior Cup in Chicago. and was the first Iowan to be promoted to the grade of B3 by Ed Green, national evaluator and member of the Midwest Territorial Panel. Prior to 81, local union societies would promote to B2. Things got a little more stringent since then. 1990, his friend Len Watkins became society chairman, and Willie continued to referee throughout the Midwest Territorial Union. He officiated at many memorable matches and tournaments. The referee society changed from the Iowa Rugby Referee Society to the Society of Iowa Rugby Referees, the SIRS. Others who have served as chairman include Scott Buchanan, Mark McEnroy, Jeremy Nielsen, and Paul Wood. In 2002, he retired as an active referee and was certified as a referee coach evaluator. The training allowed him to assist new referees. In 2009, he fully retired from any active role in rugby, except for attending the 2010 Golden Oldies Rugby Festival in Sydney with the Old Barking Dogs, Bill Hodney, and the River City Rugby Football Club. The flight home took him to a bit of touch rugby with the Bahrain Mixed League. Some of the most memorable rugby memories include refereeing some special matches, including the Irish versus Palmer match at the All-Iowa in Des Moines, refereeing the President's 15 versus Combined Services at the National Military Tournament in Dayton, Ohio, refereeing Iowa Falls versus Bremer County. Those have been some nasty ones. River City versus Gopher College, and Ohio State versus Penn State. Other lifetime rugby highlights include being appointed to the territorial panel, tours of Australia and New Zealand, and everlasting friendships with members of the rugby community. And today he's humbled as a spectator still looking for a good rugby adventure.
Give us a trial.
Steve, can I make just a quick comment? One of the weird quirks that the college I was at Sir John Cass, we had, when I got there, they didn't have a second team, and I joined the second team, and they were so separate, the second and first teams, and we always played in different locations. But Norm Lambert played for the first team, well, I played for the second team. Really weird.
Thanks, Lynn. All right, so those of you that know my dad or don't know my dad is he's, and if you don't know the word Luddite, they don't like technology. So I gotta read it, and he didn't like type it up and print it. I remember in I think 1983 he said we need to throw all the computers in the ocean and start again. So anyway, my dad started playing football. He played football and track in high school, and then played 2 years of football at Ellsworth Community College. And he was somebody who always stayed in shape. I remember as a little boy going to the track and holding a teeny tiny little stopwatch, and he'd run laps, just tons of laps, and I'd just go stop, time him. And that was when Altemeyer comes stumbling up to the track one night, and like they were saying, like 6'5", 6'6", and I'm timing my dad, and all of a sudden this big giant guy comes up, and the next thing I know, I'm on a bus to Chicago, seeing things that 8-year-old boys shouldn't see. And since my kids are here, I can't say what it was, but those of you that were around then know. In the fall of '75, at the age of 32, well, he has it here, he's running at the Iowa Falls High School track, when Tom Altemeyer and Craig Harris stopped by, asked if I'd be interested in playing rugby. That's how it started. Rugby became an opportunity to continue his athletic abilities. Club rugby was an opportunity to associate with people from different backgrounds, different age groups, and enjoy camaraderie. He says here, reflecting back over the last 37 years since I was introduced to rugby, I'd like to bring up several events and memories. Playing rugby with his brother Don, and then myself, and then my brother. I remember coming back from some of the games, and my uncle had a white Rambler. And those of you that are around long enough, I sat in the back of the white Rambler and listened to one lie after another. I would have had that score if those 5 guys wouldn't have tackled me. Other highlights: the purchase and development of the Iowa Falls rugby facilities, assist in the early years of helping me and Jennifer with the women's rugby program. He again came over and refereed for free and helped us get off the ground. I think there's a couple times we wore the Iowa Falls rugby jerseys because we couldn't afford jerseys either. Also being a part of Paul Emmerich's rugby career, the 2000 tour to Ireland and Wales that Craig Scott put together. I remember when Craig offered it, said, "You guys should go." He's like, "I don't want to fucking go overseas." And I'm like, come on, you gotta go. And I had to argue with the guy and talk him into it. And after about 3 or 4 days, he started to have a whole lot of fun. He never did figure out the money. He'd just get out like a whole shitload of change and just throw it on the counter and say, "Take it." The one night we were actually getting beers and he said, "I don't know if I have enough money because all I have is change." And there was like 8 of us he's gonna buy beers for. And he ended up having like 65 pounds of change in his pocket. But we had a blast. He got really mad at me one night because we drank too much and we were going to the Blarney Stone the next day and I struggled to make it to the bus. He also has here hosting the All Iowa Tournament, bus trips with Iowa Falls, and then also with the UNI women, we used to take the Iowa Falls rugby bus to the Heart of America. If you guys remember those tournaments, those bus trips were interesting. We don't do that anymore. There's also an involvement with the Iowa Falls high school teams, and he wants to thank his wife, Janice, of 50 years for her supports. And he says he could go on and on and on, but that's enough about me. And he says he hopes that everybody enjoys the same success and enjoyment that he had with rugby. Hey, you're supposed to be up here.
Thanks, everybody. He's got a new hat.
All right, last, Doc Pisney, wherever you're at.
We're behind the tree over here. Yeah, we're hiding. Well, I want to start off by thanking everybody for making the trip to round 2. I know not everybody could make it, but really glad everybody's here today. When Steve asked me to come up and talk a little bit about my dad, I was really excited to do it because, you know, for me, this experience just in his induction into the Hall of Fame just comes down to memories, and I think everybody here can think of the memories that they have made at this place that we're standing right now, and you know just how that you know is something that we all carry with us. Francis started playing rugby at the University of Northern Iowa during medical school, and also played at Des Moines for a little bit, and then ended up here. And some of the gentlemen that we've talked about today already, they all had a hand in where we're at today. So I do want to take a second to thank his other half. The place that we are standing, when it comes down to it, costs money, and there's someone that wears the pants in their relationship, and that's Mary Pisney. So I just want to give her one cheer. Hip hip for Mary. Hip hip! Hey! Hip hip! Hey! And there's still no running track all the way around the complex that was supposed to be here. I'm sure you're working on that. So again, I think of all the memories. I think back to some of the things Steve was talking about. Rugby trips as a young boy.